Hey guys, it's Brooks. Sorry if I sound really tired and if I'm a little bit quiet, it's kind of late where I am. But I'm going to do a tutorial on how I did this 2D effect, and I'll even go into what I did for the 2D animation keyframed in a 3D space. So I'll quickly show you a little example of what I mean right here. Alright, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. Me making that right now probably won't be as polished because I'm doing it really fast, but I'm going to go through and show you technically how to do every single effect, and then you can polish it how you want and even reapply certain ideas that I used in your own way. So let's get this started. I'm just going to go ahead and import a clip. So this one. This is the same clip that I used in that scene. I'm just going to cut it to where I want it to be by doing Alt bracket in the direction like that. Then I'm just going to cut it up and shorten my composition to the area that we want. Alright, so now we're here and we're ready to start the effect. I'm not going to really go into all the specifics of how to do all like the combinations and stuff that I do. I'm just going to assume that you already know how to do that. If you get confused, ask in the comments and I'll try to explain if I did something too fast. Alright, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add curves. And what this does is we're going to use it to make the background more of one solid color. This effect, let me explain it really fast. We're going to be keying out certain colors. I'm using a green screen map in Forge to do this effect. It makes it pretty easy. Halo 5 can't get true green screen, and so this is the best that I can do. Now, you don't have to have a green screen to do this effect. The way it works is you have to have one solid background color contrasting to the subject. So I have my subject is all black, the background is all green. Say if I were wanting to do this on a game that doesn't have green screen, it would be kind of hard to get a moving cinematic, but you'd have to find an area where, say, like the skybox was one solid blue or something like that, and set your armor to something that's drastically different, and then you stand in front of that. And it can also work on any other game with the same idea in mind. So I'm going to show you how to do it with this green screen. So getting back on track, I'm going to lower this a good bit, like right here. I'm just kind of messing with this to figure out what I need to do to get it to where the background's pretty much all green. And I can get it to where the Spartan is kind of like as close to a solid color as I can get them. So this looks about good. What we're going to do now is we're going to add on a color key. This effect is pretty much going to, it takes a color and then it cuts it out of the picture in any place that color exists. So you click on this little pin dropper here, which pretty much wherever I hold it, if I click, it'll key out that color. We're not going to mess with the green screen yet. We're going to start with the Spartan, and we're going to cut him out. You'll see what I mean if you don't understand what I'm saying in a second. So let's just say I click this part of his armor. It's that like dark green kind of thing. I'm going to turn the tolerance up a good bit until it starts affecting with the background. So you see, it turns it black, but that's not really black. That's just like see-through. You're seeing what's behind the footage, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Now I'm going to do I have color key highlighted right here. If I were to click up here, this would be highlighted. I have color key highlighted. I'm going to do a key combination called Command D. For PC users, it'll be Control D, and that duplicates whatever I have selected. So I have color key, now I have color key 2. I'm going to re-click this little pin dropper here and select another color on the Spartan, which is that white color. That's pretty good. Erase it to however much I need. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If I hold down spacebar, I can click and drag, look around at some of the other parts just to see how good it looks. That looks fine for our purposes right now. Now we need to get this blue, so we're going to Command E again, and we're going to select this dropper, select blue, and we're going to raise tolerance. Now if I click this, go back to fit, now we have this Spartan walking, and he's just all black. You should see him go through. Alright, now we're going to give him a color. You do this by going up to Layer, New, Solid. I'm just going to call it, I'm just going to try to do the same colors, so let's just do yellow. Now these colors won't be exact to what I had in my edit, because that'll be kind of hard to get just perfect, but let's see what we can do. I'm going to give it like a, this kind of yellow, I guess. Click OK on that, click OK on this. Now you see it covers up the entire thing. All you have to do, you don't want to click it over here. I'm going to click it over here on this side, and you drag it below. So now we have a Spartan walking, and he is just a yellow figure. Now that we've done this, we're going to do something called pre-composing. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much like grouping together layers to put them in their own composition. Like this is all one composition. So what I do is I'm going to highlight both of these, right click, pre-compose. These settings are good. I'm going to rename it to yellow 2D GS for green screen. You want to move all attributes and you want to adjust composition, and you don't want to open it. So what this does is now you see you have this one layer. If I double click on that, and here we have these two layers. Out here they're just one. So there you go, that's pre-composing. So now whatever we do to here, it'll affect it all in one time. We're going to add on another color key to this layer, so now it's over here. We're going to key out this green over here. We'll raise the tolerance a bit. We want to get it as accurate to the Spartan as we can without it actually cutting into the Spartan. I think that'll be alright. So now if we drag through, make sure that there's no green like around his feet. Yeah, that'll be fun. Alright, so we got this guy right here now. Let's add on our actual background. So we're going to do the same thing that we did earlier. Layer, New, Solid. And we're going to go to colors, get it set to what we want. Say we do like a that. I'm going to call it blue BG. Drag it behind. So there we go. Now we have this Spartan walking in like 2D space, just pretty much just walking normally. Now this layer is only the Spartan, so we can move it. Like if I wanted to move it, I can move it anywhere that I want, and it'll only affect him. I'm gonna Command Z, move it back. What we're gonna do is we're going to keyframe his position, scale, and rotation and stuff to make him move how we want him to move. So what I'm going to do first, which is what I did in the edit, is I made him a 3D layer. So you see I've got this button right here, it's a cube. 3D layer allows this layer to be manipulated in 3 dimensions. Because let me explain that really quick. What I do now, if I were to do position, I'm going to tap P, brings up position. I only have X and Y. I can either move it this way or I can move it this way. So if I don't want to only do that, I can select this. Now there's more. If I move this, it'll rotate it like that, you get the idea. So now I have a whole lot more options that way. So here's all of our transform options. First, I'm going to go to scale and just make them smaller. 60 seems like a good idea. This is about like the size I was using. I might actually go a little bit smaller. I'll go 50. So we got him like this. First step, we're going to try to make him do that rotation thing that you saw in the edit. This anchor point, we have to move, because you see it's set at his waist. So if I were to move my X rotation, which is what we're going to be messing with in a minute, if I were to move that, you see it rotates around this anchor point right here. And we don't want that. We want it to rotate below him. So we put that back to 0. This anchor point, you can move it, and I'm going to put it below his feet. That amount looks good. This is your anchor point. Here's your position. This middle one is I'm going to move him up and down Y. So right here, if I were to move this one, it'll move him into Z depth. So that's not scale, that's distance into there, into the frame. So that's what that is. This is up and down. I'm going to put the anchor point like right here, like about center-ish, like to where he's about in the middle. That's just rough. So now that we have that, we're going to keyframe the X rotation. If you see now, if I were to modify this, he'll rotate around that. If I went negative, he goes forward. If I go positive, he goes backwards. In my edit, he went negative, so that way he would keep falling forward. So first we're going to keyframe this. I'm not going to go into depth like on how I did the syncing. I pretty much just used time remap and scale for that first part where he zoomed out and back out and his feet slowed down at every single beat. That was time remap and scale, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to do the wheel spinning for this tutorial so this doesn't get too long. So just imagine like all that was happening. So we got X rotation. I'm going to click on keyframe. This pretty much means if I drop a keyframe here, then I can change it here, drop a keyframe somewhere else, change it to something else, and it'll change from whatever I have set here to whatever I have set over here. So we have 1 at 0, 0. I'm just going to make this last 4 seconds-ish. Let's just do 5. So we got 5 seconds. That's how long he's going to be spinning for. Drop another one. And I'm going to make this, which is how many times he goes around. So it's like, if I were to make this 1, then if I dragged this from here to there, he's going to go backwards because I made it positive 1 spin. Alright? Now I'm actually going to make it like -4. It kind of seems like around what I did. So if I start here, he will spin 4 times. That might not be enough, but we'll see as we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight both of these keyframes. Wait, I'm just going to highlight both of those keyframes. I clicked and shift clicked this one. Right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. You see that they change. And I click this button, takes me into the graph editor. Now I have these are those two keyframes, and I'm going to change the curves. So what this means is that if I drag this over here, and I've dragged this over here, it's going to start slow, and then it falls, and then it slows down to the final spot right there. So that's what we want. Take off the graph editor. Now what we're going to do is we want to make 4 of these guys. That's what I had. I had 1 at 90, 1 at 180, 70. So we're going to do the same thing. We are going to Command D this layer, that duplicate thing. We're going to do that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So now we have 4 layers of this. If we go into the positioning of this one, has the exact same keyframes because it's the same layer as this. And it's at -4 here, but I'm going to make it at -4, and it's going to be at -90. So you see he's out there now. So if I go up to this one now, and you see this one's at -4, make it at -4, -180. This is just going around a 360-degree wheel. So the next one's going to be 270. -270. Like that. And so now if you see, or wait, I forgot, you also have to change it right here. My bad. So we've got negative 270. Negative 180. And negative 90. So now, sorry, what I just did right there was I changed the end and the beginning original starting points. So if it starts at negative 270 0 times, it's going to end at negative 270 negative 4 times. The reason that we want it to do that is because we want it to end up in the exact same location that it did before, and we want it to spin 4 times. So if I were to have left it the same way I did earlier, it was at 0, negative 4, it would have started at the same place as this dude, but ended right there, and it would have looked weird. So since it's the same, now if we go through, they're all equal, and then they end like that. So let's just give that a little pre-render, so we can get a quick look at what we made. Alright. So we got that. I just realized that I left the sound on there too. I'm going to minimize all these really quick, and I'm going to show you a couple of the different touch-ups I did to finish this up, just to close out the video. On my background, I didn't have it as just a solid color. I had like one effect on it called add grain. It's this is not a plugin, this is just in After Effects. Changed the viewing mode to final output, and I changed the intensity to, I don't know, just whatever I felt like doing. Alright. And then I had all of my keyframing of speed and stuff on it, so I also had to add RSMB, and I had my aspect ratio on it, and I have a plugin for aspect ratio, so I'll just go and pre-compose and show you what it looks like with that. I'm not going to worry about naming it. You can get this plugin really easily. It's for free, and it just gives you perfect aspect ratio. It's right there. So actually, if I wanted to go into this, move them down a little bit more. It's like right there. So now we got this. It's gonna take a little minute to pre-render, but just put it in quarter so you can see what it looks like. Final output. There you go. That's how you make a green screen 3D thing into 2D, and that's how I did my rotation wheel 2D objects into 3D space. Sorry if this tutorial was kind of all over the place or too fast or whatever. If there's anything else, any other effects that you guys would like to see, if I'm willing to make a tutorial on it, I will. So thanks for watching, hope this helped out, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.